An incredible man and an equally incredible daughter. In fact, Art Arfons is on the starting line right now with the Dragon Lady twin-turbine powered tractor. She'll have first shot down this 250-foot course, pulling 50,000 pounds of weight with over 8,000 horsepower. An 8-tractor invitational. All machines are jet-powered. 1 engine, 2 engine, even more. As Dusty releases the clutch, those giant tires start spinning. The machine claws for traction, and Dusty tries to haul the freight here at Tampa. An incredible pull. It is indeed a full pull. Art Arfons takes 50,000 pounds, the length of the track, and as the first driver out, puts the pressure on every other machine in competition. 8,000 horsepower churning those tires. Dusty steers it like the pro she is, and past the finish line she goes with the first full pull of the event. The next driver up will be Ohio's Robert Soyson, again with twin jet power on this beautiful tractor. The flying machine easing off the starting line, trying to find traction. It's so easy to overpower this sandy pulling course here in Tampa. And Soyson will be unable to hit the full pull mark. Remember, if one competitor has already made a full pull, every other driver must do so as well, because the drivers that have taken that weight past the finish line will come back for another round of competition at more weight to determine the champion. Here is the living legend, the man with twin jet turbines on either side of him in a machine with probably the best-known name in all of motorsports. From Akron, Ohio, the legend, Art Arfons and the Green Monster. The afterburner's lit. Arfons lets out the clutch. His daughter leads the competition. He must make it to the finish line with 50,000 pounds in tow to stay in the competition. Unbelievable! Arfons could have literally driven right out of the stadium. The crowd can't believe it. Another full pull. Take a look at this one in slow motion on the starting line. Now, as the throttle kicks in, he's got 8,000 horsepower literally pushing him right past the finish line and almost off the dirt here at Tampa Stadium. So we've got a shootout competition now between Art and his daughter, Dusty. That brings up this week's Power Drive, one of the most outrageous pulling passes of the 1991 U.S. Harvard Association season came recently in Landover, Maryland. Harold Lewis's fuel-injected high-roller Chevrolet was in a pull-off on a 190-foot track. He had made a full pull in the first round, but now with 10,000 more extra pounds of weight, he takes it past the finish line again for a second full pull.
Power Drive is brought to you by Brew, the essence of man. Come on, put it on.
How about not one, not two, not three, but 4 jet turbine engines in one tractor? Almost 14,000 horsepower for Vermont's Gardner Stone and the General Stage 4. Earlier, we had a chance to talk to Gardner Stone about exactly how this much horsepower can possibly be put to the dirt.
You've got to be able to utilize your horsepower. You've got to be able to get it to the ground. You can have all the power in the world, and if you can't make it hook up, it won't work for you. So it's no different in the winter spinning on the ice. If you got a 1,000 horsepower rail dragster trying to take off on ice, this isn't going to happen. But if you can feather it out and baby it out, you can still utilize your horsepower and get it under motion. And that's essentially what we're doing with these tractors. We're trying to make the power work for us. For Stone, only 100 feet off the starting line. A tremendous amount of excess fuel coming out of the afterburner tubes on the front two engines, and the most powerful tractor here, the machine that Dusty Arfons herself said would win this event, will stop just shy of the 100-foot mark. What a tough break for one of the most exquisite and exotic pieces of machinery in all of motorsports. The next man on the starting line has already made one pull with a twin-engine tractor. This is the single-engine turbine-powered machine of Robert Soyson again, his Blue Angel, one of two different machines in the Ohioan stable of pulling tractors. But as you can see, almost out of bounds, the front wheel's unable to steer him back into bounds, and Soyson will have to back off the throttle. You can't steer these things when the front end is 3 feet in the air. Soyson knew that he was headed for the out-of-boundary marker. He had to get off the throttle, and anytime you lift off the gas in one of these machines, you'll lose the forward momentum needed to continue pulling 50,000 pounds of static weight. Soyson will unhook and head back to the pit area. So far, only two machines have crossed that 250-foot finish line, both of them from the Arfons stables. And now on the starting line, the incredible IRA of Jim Siebert. This immaculate single-engine jet turbine-powered tractor certainly cost Jim more than just his early retirement account. Wheels up as he goes to make the pull-off with the Arfons family, keeping the front end 5 feet in the air, staying in the throttle. but he will just fall short of the finish line on a 250-foot course, 204 feet 7 inches. For Jim Siebert will not qualify him for the showdown. We will see a father versus daughter battle in the pull-off round at an incredible weight of 60,000 pounds in a winner-take-all match here at the Night of Fire. We will see a father versus daughter battle in the pull-off round at an incredible weight of 60,000 pounds in a winner-take-all match.
There's probably not a motorsports fan in the world who does not know the name Art Arfons and his Green Monster. And the Super Bowl of Motorsports is annually an event that Art Arfons attends in his pursuit of the record 9th World Tractor Pulling Championship. But this man has been a drag racing star since the 1950s, a past world land speed record, one of the greatest figures in this sport. And Art, at 65 years old, you aren't slowing down any.
Well, my tractor's slowing down just a little. Needs one more engine.
2 jets at this point, and you're up against a lot of people with a lot more horsepower than you yourself created in this thing 15 years ago.
Yeah, you're right there.
He's always tough. You never count him out at all. He's a good competitor. I enjoy pulling with him.
When I come into it, it was all single engine, just a regular car engine, not a race engine. And it's grown every year, leaps and bounds.
He's the one that talked me into turbine engines, and whenever he's around, you got to be careful because he'll drive by you.
And you're the one who brought in the aircraft engines to power these things because you were pretty much familiar with them. How has that changed things?
Well, there's a lot of turbine tractors now. Bob George is the one that really got things going when he put the show indoors in some of these big buildings, and I think that's what made it grow.
And the Green Monster isn't the only Arfons family machining competition here at the Super Bowl of Motorsports. For quite a few seasons now, the second half of Art Arfons' traveling show has been his daughter, Dusty Arfons.
She's just as good. She's just started last summer with a twin engine. I haven't seen him since last summer pulling, and I understand she's getting better and better on the winter circuit, and that's good. I love competition, and they're good.
Even though people would probably think it unusual as you as a woman driver, how do the women spectators view you in this?
I think they like to see a woman out there pulling and trying to beat the guys. I just like to beat the guys, that's all.
How do you think you're going to do tonight against some of the toughest in the world?
I'm going to try and win, but you never know. I'd like to get third at least. I mean, I know Gardner's going to win, and I'd like to see my dad beat me, so.
You'd like to see your dad beat you?
Yeah, he's been having some bad luck this year.
Like I said, it could be anybody's ball game. It's just, you never know until the dust settles.
A lot of people never gave the sport of tractor pulling a long lifespan. Yet here we are 16 years after Bob George created it, and it's going strong. How long do you think it's going to last? Is it going to keep going?
Oh, it's a motorsport that's here forever. They just keep going and going.
And you obviously plan on being the king of it till the end, right?
I'd like to participate.
And the first driver in that particular showdown is the first driver to make a full pull, Dusty Arfons, the lady pilot of the Dragon Lady Bush-sponsored jet-powered tractor, lining up on the starting line, now with 10,000 more pounds in tow. As hard as she can, staying with it down to the finish line. A great pull. Even with 10,000 more pounds in tow, Dusty Arfons makes an incredible pull of 226 feet, 4 inches from the starting line. An amazing job that will put a serious amount of pressure on her father. Remember, Dusty has never beaten her father, Art, in any one of these invitational competitions. Looking at the slow motion replay on the starting line, look at the intensity on the woman's face as she stares this thing, slamming down the visor at half track as the dirt becomes pretty intense. Now finally digging in at the 2 1/4 mark, she definitely has what it takes.
A really good run. The track was a lot worse than it was the first time around, so I think that was a real good run for me. My money's on my dad on first and me in second. He's a little bit sharper driver than I am, so otherwise our tractors are identical.
Now it's a matter of driving ability to serve the winner here at the Night of Fire. Arfons leaves the line. The front end heads for the sky. He sticks with it. An incredible amount of speed. Arfons shuts it down after incredibly passing the finish line for the second straight pull. Unbelievable. 252 feet, 6 inches. Arfons takes 60,000 pounds, almost as far as he did 50,000 pounds on the incredible twin-engine Green Monster. Meanwhile, back in